Do you know that you probably came from some of the greatest healers? That you came from some of the greatest voyagers, the best warriors? You know why? You know how we know this? It's because you're still here. You, along with all the other peers, you guys are the sum total of the very best that made it. Imagine that. There was a time here on Maui where families, it was said that a family of 5, at the end of the day, maybe one of them would still be living because of the diseases and sicknesses that our kupuna had to go through. 1 out of the 5 lived. You, along with all of your peers, are the sum total of the very best. You made it. We are what they call resilient. You know what also is special about you? When you live through an event like that, one of the first things that traditionally would take place is that you would be considered kapu. Anytime that somebody is within a space that has an event that has triggered some kind of difference in the normal aspects of life. So I'll give you like a real easy sample. So like, you know, when there's fish, there's a whole abundance of fish in the ocean, okay? Plenty of akule. But there's a time when the akule have to spawn. They have to build for the next generation. There is a kapu that is placed because that's not normal. Something manafo, something special is happening. They are ensuring that the next generation of akule is growing, right? So you put a kapu on it. You let the fish cultivate. And the same thing happens when there's a depletion of something. When there's a depletion of something, you automatically put a kapu on that because there's something special that is happening. And I'm saying this to you because this connects to healing directly. Is the perspective and the way that we look at sicknesses is very different than how we look at it from a Western lens. Do you know that there's no Hawaiian term for trauma? There's no word for trauma, but we throw it around all day today, right? It was a traumatic event. When we put something into kapu, you become elevated. Not just anybody can come into your space. So instead of saying you traumatized, which has a negative connotation, if I was to say, well, you're part of Lahaina, okay, you traumatized because of what happened, it has a negative connotation. But if I say there's a kapu placed on all of you folks that made it, all of you youth that were able to walk away from that, that's mana. You are kapu, you are in a way sacred, and not just anybody could go into those spaces or could be in your space right now because you have a kapu. So anytime these kinds of events take place that have traumatic, today we would call it traumatic kind of effects on those directly, you automatically are placed on a kapu. And we see you as something that is special. Let's say this special. Just not anybody can be around you. And so I think the youth need to understand that, one, you come from a people that are highly resilient. You come from a genealogy. Out of all those that didn't make it, in all the many events, some tried to cross the Pacific and didn't make it. Some came here and were affected from all the many wars and all of the environmental kind of no water, no food, all of the coming of the foreigners. Your family, your genealogy, you still here. If that's not, again, you have to know mana. If that's not manaful, I don't know what is. But now specifically, you guys were a part of something that places you not in a negative space, but in a Hawaiian space. It places you in a very sacred space. that because your heart is so sensitive, you're na'au, you sacred. And you must be very mindful who you allow in your spaces. That they are conscious of giving and ho'omana you rather than coming to take, because the environment took. And so what you hold on to is very sacred right now. You must be mindful that the people that come into your space as being couple has something to either balance out or give. If not, don't be bothered with them. Be mindful of your mana. Be mindful of your couple. That's what I would tell our youth, is because you possess such great mana that you are able to live through. For whatever reason, your ancestors placed you in a position where you were able to walk away. Well, then that means you get great kuleana in your life. You have some manafo kupuna that were watching out for you. And you have this great couple that is placed upon you at this time, that it is important that you embrace the sacredness that you have right now. Because not all have it, not all understand it.